Uh, all
We
right.
we're here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Are talking about a topic I've really wanted to talk about for a long time, and somebody I really wanted to talk about it with. Um, the topic around autoimmunity is affecting a lot of people more than ever before. And when autoimmunity, I'm just referring to this strange set of symptoms and conditions where the body seems to turn against itself. It's in a state of chaos and confusion and inflammation and fatigue and reactivity, and it feels like your own biology is working against you. You might have digestive issues, rashes, and feeling really sensitive, pain, feeling sensitive to just the world around you. And what I've learned is that rather than thinking about this in the way that the body's broken and we need to find an outside solution, which gets very tricky, there's not a real known solution for autoimmunity in conventional medicine. And in fact, thinking about it in this way, I've come to realize is the problem. It isn't the answer, and it's not really going to give you any much answer. But when I think about autoimmunity, um, what if it's somehow we've just kind of missed the point of what it is? And what it is this, the body has somehow become miswired. And what it needs is reorganization and to learn to come home to itself in a way that it hasn't been shown. And that's what we're exploring today, is how to move from this state of internal conflict back into integration, where the body knows how to heal. What if you could access that place again? And what if it's easier than you think? So, um, I've lived this journey myself, and today I want to talk with an incredible practitioner of energy repatterning, um, who helps people do just that and reconnect to their innate coherence, so healing can fold unnaturally. Um, and welcome. Hi, Melody.
Hi. This
And
is
we are exploring doing lives together as well as exploring autoimmunity. So we're just figuring all the things out today. But I want to talk about this new sort of model of healing, these impossible that I find is effective way to address these impossible conditions, that I think we just need to understand new ways of approaching them. And so our work um, is both very deeply neurological and energetic. And he, this work requires us to rewire the relationship between the brain and the body and release the emotional patterns that keep these circuits stuck in defense. And when we understand that to be the work, rather than, searching for the pill that takes away our symptoms, this is how we can really restore healing from any condition, in fact. So the goal I want to have today is a conversation that shifts the way we think about autoimmunity, and away from this idea that the body's attacking itself, into this idea that the body's trying to communicate,
yes.
that something's off. And that creates the question of how do you listen? So that's what we want to talk about.
That's what we're talking about. And it's so, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, I mean, even just today, that my body is fighting itself. And they see these mystery diagnoses as a life sentence. And from my perspective, my understanding is when we believe in our hearts and confess with our mouths anything, right? I grew up in Christianity. And so the way to get saved was to believe in your heart and confess with your mouth. So that is a spiritual transaction. So when we believe in our heart and confess with our mouth that we have a incurable disease and this is going to be the way it is forever, we're pronouncing these spiritual contracts. And so, yes, absolutely, we are on this physical plane and we carry physical imbalances and misalignments. And there are spiritual and emotional and energetic patterns that we really can repattern. And so it's so whenever I try to talk about you and about the work you do, I'm like, I don't know, she's this brilliant neuroscientist, PhD, you know, brain magician. And the work that you do with viruses and parasites and energy and the neurology, I can't even explain it. And there was a time when I would feel maybe inadequate or inferior. But through our work together, I'm seeing how potent and necessary it is to blend the science, the natural with the quantum and the spiritual. And I think that that's where we get to amplify the gifts in ourselves. We get to understand each other more and we can help so many more people. So that if for people that have said, I've done everything they told me to do, why don't I feel better? That's where we come in, is to cause a shift in your belief and in your patterns and in the neurological wiring.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. And the answer is, I mean, the question is, how do you listen?
Mm,
And the answer is through the nervous system.
through the nervous system.
The nervous system is our body's hardware. It is an intricate electrical network that connects the brain with every organ, every tissue, every cell, and it's where it sends and receives information from.
Yeah.
Neurology is the study of that hardware and neurology and how that hardware works and what causes it to malfunction and how to repair it. All of that information is in that communication network. And Melody and I use different healing modalities that both work to access the body's neurology in real time and to find and correct dysfunction. So the way to communicate with the body is through its communication system, which holds all the information and is called the nervous system. And all the information held in that network pertains to our health and well-being. And the type of information that we can access is very precise. It can take us, one particular instance. Every memory is recorded in this
Yeah.
in the nervous system. That's why it has these learned reactions and how we learn to navigate through the world and survive. And it informs us also when we use specific modalities that we use, we can talk about. It informs us about the nature of the stress that's held in the body. So we don't have to necessarily go and figure it out. We can ask the body, how's it stressed? And what's needed to restore balance. And we are here to talk today about what we have seen and experienced through this work, specifically pertaining to autoimmune type conditions, not from a medical standpoint. This is not medical advice. This is our experience and what we see in the nervous system and how unpacking that stress restores the body to function as it was meant to. And when we think about things that cause illness, that cause stress in the body, we have toxins. When we have a lot of toxins, we have to think about and talk about and avoid and figure out how to remove. And that it can injure our body. And we have poor diet, and that stresses out the body when we're not getting enough nutrients. And we can also get injured. We can get physically injured. But one of the biggest driving patterns, biggest factor driving patterns of imbalance and preventing healing is is what we refer to as the emotional body. Is in the emotional body, is stress held in the emotional body. And the first mistake is thinking that this is different than the physical body. The emotional body is not sort of this abstract thing. We hold on to pain, and like you talked to this, like different in our different organ systems. It distorts when we hold on to pain, it distorts the brain's ability to regulate the immune system, to communicate with the different parts, because that communication network has to get everywhere in the body. And so it distorts the brain's ability to regulate the immune system, hormone systems. And this is what leads to chronic symptoms, chronic inflammation, chronic fatigue, chronic body attacking itself, which isn't really, I believe, what's happening. But I've been very fascinated in my work as a kinesiologist in all the different ways we can help the nervous system specifically release this emotional stress. I played with different techniques. I use in my practice and Emotion Code, which is what Melody's a practitioner of, is one of my absolute favorites, most effective ways of finding stress in the body and releasing it so that the body can return to intelligent function.
Intelligent function. Yeah, it's so interesting growing up in our Western programs. It's been very much this or that, right? It's been very much medicine or faith. And Dr. Nat spoke to that on her post the other day, and like we believe in God until it comes to our physical health, right? And then we turn to medicine and it's not either or. We have to take and look at the physical, spiritual, and emotional components. We as human beings in our whole state are the expression physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. And so if any one of those components is out of whack, then that's when we get distortion, right? So like you said, the body is not broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. It's communicating with you. The nervous system's job, its number one purpose is to protect us with the information it has, right? So what autoimmunity is the body's way of saying, there is something that I haven't felt safe to feel yet. And so it feels everything else except that thing. And the moment we stop fighting and we start listening through kinesiology, through meditation, through emotion code, through frequencies, there are many, many, many different ways to listen to the body. But we've been programmed as humans to listen to our parents, our teachers, our pastors, our doctors, because everybody else knows more than we do. But the truth is, nobody knows what's going on with your body except for you. I don't know what's there's no way. Like, there are books written on the autoimmune diet. It's bullshit, because the reason for your autoimmunity is not the same as someone else's. And so we have to be highly specific and highly tuned in and return to the knowing that nobody knows what you need but you. And to create a container where it is truly safe to feel, to stop fighting, right? Love is the organizing principle of all of life. So when we invite love back into the conversation, rather than fear or doubt or shame, it always responds. It always responds to love. So like you were saying, in the body code, every organ, every gland, every system has its own unique consciousness that it remembers. It carries certain frequencies, certain blueprints. And when those certain frequencies get trapped, they distort the communication, right? Like, it wasn't always safe to feel your anger or feel your shame or to process the things. Man, I mean, part of this for me started as a question, because I began to work with client after client after client that would present these diagnoses to me. And every single one of them had trauma that I can't even begin to imagine. I have had a very protected life for which I'm immensely grateful. And so when I got to see so many people carrying trauma, or maybe their ancestors carried trauma, their parents were in certain groups where there was all this dysfunction, it becomes trapped, those inherited programs, right? And so it distorts the ability to communicate. It's like static in the radio signal, which was funny because there was static in my communication when I hopped on, right? So the immune system can't tell what's self and what's not because the emotional charge blurs the body's sense of identity. Have you noticed that? So the immune system is just responding. It doesn't know what's what because all of these charges have distorted that sense of wholeness.
Absolutely. And it can be triggered. My mind's going in different directions right now. It can be triggered by, I mean, certainly like childhood trauma from a young age. We know there's a lot of research showing that it is associated. It's probably the number one risk factor for every chronic disease.
Yep.
And it's just associated because the body's attuned to chaos and survival and being, but the body has an ability to not exist in that state. And that is the neurological work that we can do to get the body to learn to exist at a different bar, a different level. And at a level of ease
Yeah.
that versus awaiting conflict around every corner at a level of ease, that's the body's not designed to heal under stress. It's like
And do
this.
you hear that? Do you notice with your clients? I remember so clearly recently there was a client that we've worked with together, and she was like, I've done so much healing work, and you're telling me all I had to do was sit here with you, and it was instant. I didn't have to trek through the jungles and cry my face off. I didn't have to be
Oh,
poked and prodded in it. I literally can, it's just that easy. And that's what you were speaking to. We've been in this belief that everything has to be so hard. And if it's not hard, it's not working. And we want to change that paradigm, that program, that it really can be, because healing doesn't take time, it just takes alignment. It's instantaneous when there's alignment. And I always refer back to Jesus because that's my frame of reference. Do you think he was like, oh, 3 weeks from now, or he's like, alignment, right? And that's where, yes, in the physical realm, do we sometimes have to go through detox pathways? Of course. But when we come together and anchor in our patterns and our belief and our faith along with the science, it can be just that easy.
the hard part is finding this work if you're not in alignment. It's really hard to find us. We're in a real, very obscure corner, but
Right.
people that it's an alignment pattern. And that's what I've learned through this work is there's an alignment code thing, alignment code that you kind of have to, and the code is through you and doing the emotional work. And once you can start showing up, it's like a lock and key. Then all of
Yeah.
a sudden you get to access different things once you've removed some of the emotional limiting beliefs that maybe you didn't see were keeping you away from believing your body could heal. All you need is the belief that this can heal. And a diagnosis is a very easy way to interfere with that belief. And
What is a diagnosis? If, from my opinion, and I don't know about from yours, when someone speaks over you that this is what you have and this is what the rest of your life is going to be like, that's a curse. I don't
yeah,
believe in that, right? Because at any given moment, we can choose into a new reality. And so we got to go in and cancel, nullify, and void any spoken word that's not in alignment with the divine mind. And the divine mind is wholeness, right? We live in separation. Disease is separation. We've forgotten about our wholeness. We've forgotten about our divinity. Healing is the reunion, that coming home, the joining of all of the parts, the safety, the landing, right? When we're living in that separation, we're separated from our feelings, we're separated from our body, we're separated from our source. The nervous system is in constant defense mode. But when we
Yeah.
can return to unity by honoring the things that we never truly felt, by letting the body know that it's safe, then love is the healer. You and I are not the healers. You and I are the channels, the voices, the access points, the keys perhaps for you to be able to learn how to unlock your own inner knowing, your own inner healer.
I just tell people you need two or three neurology-based modalities and that and you're good. And that's me, that's kinesiology, that's emotion code, that's chiropractic.
Yeah.
And it's about, it's there's like I do a lot of different modalities and I still, it's not it, if we expand our like I really believe in referring, and this is I guess comes into why, our clients, our shared clients do have such rapid results, is because you and I work like on different, we can access different things. And um it's resonance, has personal resonance. And I think we do a good job of holding space for people and a lot of that's has been through my personal like my relating to each client probably has a lot to do with my journey through probably what would have been diagnosed as two or three autoimmune conditions if I hadn't, I never really tried to figure it out and get a diagnosis because for the reason I didn't want to solidify my mind into anything. But in conventional medicine, there is not a way to heal this. There's
No.
not a treatment. There, you pop a bunch of pills for the rest of your shortened life. That's
Right.
it.
Which then creates imbalances in other spaces. There's no prescription medicine that does not have a side effect. None.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you understand autoimmune from the lens of our work, I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy talk.
I don't want a little paperback. I'm pretty sure I ordered this in hardback.
There we go.
Um, but but yeah, like you said, when emotions are sort of the biggest opening into understanding more about this, because like it might not be spontaneous. It might be, you know, work
Layer
on
by
some
layer.
of us,
Yeah. And
layered.
sometimes it takes layers, right? So if it's like if you've had these emotions and these patterns keeping you safe for decades, they're not going to just leave, right? It's like, a beaten dog, right? The first person that's nice to it, it's not like, oh, okay, all humans are nice. It does sometimes take a moment, for you to, because you feel safe, you feel good, you step into the belief and you step into the alignment, and then you get a headache and you're like, oh gosh, is this another one of those things, right? And you go back to the fear loops, and that's why having somebody hold space and hold faith and like, no, the body's just recalibrating, there's nothing wrong, and to speak life over you. And then when the brain quiets a little bit, that's when our heart opens, and that's when our cells begin to reorganize around truth instead of trauma. So I always tell people, like, no, you don't need me, you can do this work on your own, right? But I need you. How many times have I called you and I'm like, oh God, something's off, and I need help too, because I get into my own vision, my own blind spots, my own nervous system patterns, and you're like, oh, everything's fine. Like, you don't, why are you worried about this? So we join hands in this work together, right? So not only is your neurological work so powerful in rewiring the circuitry of the body, right? I can change a light bulb, but I can't do electrician work. That's not my level of expertise. So you do have an expertise that is different than mine. My role is to go in and clear those emotional imprints that are keeping the circuits shortened. And so when science meets energy work, it's a total recalibration, and it's not just the nervous system but the whole body, the story that the body's been speaking about itself. So we help the body remember its original design, to come back into coherence and find peace and vitality. I was thinking about the other client that we had that Normally, when you would see a client with her symptoms, it would take like weekly sessions, and you're like, I guess I'll see you in 3 months, right?
I was like, yeah, yeah. It was. I mean, it's wild when Melody sends me a client. It's just like, boop, like it's just
Oh,
like there's
there it is.
yeah, because there's been so much stress removed from the emotional body, whatever, that it is ripe and ready to rewire. And,
Yeah,
that's where, my work helps the brain see, something it wasn't seeing. Any diagnosis is the brain's not seeing something it needs to either attack or regulate better or, or respond to. And it's often the emotional blocks are the big hindrance to that
to
system
the body.
flowing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so it's amazing, and that's why I wanted to just kind of have a conversation about because yeah, I love your work. Like it's such a potent combination. Um, and I forget because part of my journey is like, oh, I have to do this all myself. No one can help me. And then I remember Melody, so Melody can help me
Well,
because I
yes,
just
we do hold hands, right? And how many people think that I have to do this all by myself?
yeah, yeah.
If you're watching live or later, just comment like, "Oh, I have thought that. I have believed that I was on my own.
But
Nobody
it
got it."
is but it is funny because our work really just decodes what the body's saying. And the answer is always here. The answer's with you. If you have any struggle with your health, it's within you, the
Yeah.
answer. And so these methods just go find it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's peeling back an onion. It's a little bit of a layered process.
And the thing that, I would say is so potent about working with me and with you is our completely unshakable faith. Like there is nothing that anyone could say to me that would convince me that it's going to have to be like this forever. I just flat out don't believe that. I believe that the body is meant to be whole and that we are meant to enjoy living here, right? The physical body is our chance to be here because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So when we come back, I guess if I want people to take one thing away from today, we're going to have many, many more of these conversations, I'm sure. It's just to know that your body has not turned against you. Your body has only ever turned toward you. And these symptoms are your body asking for attention. They're asking for compassion. They're asking to partner with you, right? And so when you meet your body there, not as an enemy, but as a child to hold and to love and to nurture and to listen to, everything changes. That the frequency of true healing and love is the answer. Like it's not just a song, it's a truth that love moves us forward today.
And it can move us into a greater state of coherence. And anytime there's division, you're going to have stress in the body. And, love is the great uniter.
It is. It absolutely is. Did you want to touch on anything else? Any
Well,
questions in the
like
chat? I don't even know if anybody's chatting with
Deanna's
us.
here
I
and
see
Tom's
Deanna.
here.
Yes,
We have,
thank you for being here.
yeah, and we should have I mean, well, we should do this again. We should give some more testimonials of the nature of how, so a little bit of, what this work can accomplish. But I mean, you can also it's something it's hard to explain. It's really because it's you. It's based on what your body wants. It will tell us the body's imbalanced because of stress. With this nervous system work, we can remove the stress and restore the body to optimal function. It depends what that stress is caused by depends on you, and we can definitely explain the science around our wacky methods, but there's a level of trust, and a big part of this work is just remembering and trusting that your body does know how to heal. And
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time at the beginning of someone's journey, reminding them, because I have full confidence because I've I've
Yeah.
the methods that I used have healed me, have walked me through the healing process. So I just know what's
Yeah,
possible.
same. Absolute same. I'm like, what? Of course it works.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And that belief is even when I wasn't seeing the evidence, that belief landed the craziest things in my lap. So it's worth it to have the belief. Landed some of the most powerful tools in my lap to accomplish. Like I didn't even know some of this stuff was out there. And so that's what I invite you to do is just what would it be like to believe you could fully heal immediately and then see what happens after that? Like, I mean, but sometimes the work is getting to that belief, and that's where we can we can
I
help.
borrowed this from Candy, another member of our healing squad, and she said maybe you can't jump right to whatever it is, but I give myself permission to believe. Like start
Yeah.
there. What if you just consciously, minute by minute, gave yourself permission to believe that it was possible? Maybe you don't yet, but are you willing to? I'm willing to believe that it's possible. It's just getting us one step closer. And in the meantime, we can hold that faith for you. And so again, you don't need us, but you kind of do if you're still struggling, because it is the tools that we have and that we can share with you, and that unshakable knowing that it's possible. So if you have that quiet knowing that there's more available to you, follow it. That's our invitation to you. Our invitation for this whole thing is a deeper conversation, right? If you know that you are ready for deeper healing sessions, we're here to bridge that gap between the neurological, the emotional, and the spiritual systems of the body so that healing unfolds from the inside out. You're not meant to live out your life managing symptoms, right? It's to remember and embody your wholeness. And I believe that these tools are where that happens.
I don't know another way to do this besides the tools that I'm featuring on my page. These tools, which are not medical tools, these are tools that are supporting the body and its ability to function naturally, which means healing. That's an innate mechanism of the body. When you cut your skin, it bleeds and then it heals. And that is what the whole body has. That's the body's like primary.
Every system is designed to do that. Yes.
And if it's not, then there's a breakdown in communication that can be restored without any crazy, you know,
Yeah.
crazy sophisticated solution. It's already within you. So it's just about unblocking the stress. That's what we do. We just want to get more dialogue about this work out there. We both have coaching programs. You have the Freedom Frequency group on Facebook. You'll post that, and if you're not there right now watching this, and then I have my Gut Reset Collective. I'm always changing the name, and we do pass clients back and forth because sometimes I know my clients would benefit from Melody and vice versa, and we both have coaching programs that if I mean, our work engaged simultaneously is amplified by a lot. So it's something to explore, but you can you can engage with either of us to learn more about what each of us brings. But really, we just wanted to talk about what's possible when it comes to these very, very difficult, very much growing in number without any real good solution on the horizon. Like autoimmune has grown exponentially in the last 20, 30 years. And it's a horrible, horrible experience that, doesn't have to happen.
That's right. So whether it's you, right? Whether you, the one watching, or somebody, just share some hope with them. Share the conversation, share the possibility for another verdict. I guess that's what we want to start really honing in on. So that's really all. I know it's hard to kind of we could talk about this for hours, but we know maybe not everybody has that same level of passion and attention span, because this is the work of our soul. This is our calling. This is what we're here to do. And so we could truly talk about it all day, but I want to be cognizant of your lives and your schedules, and just also maybe keep the conversation going. Let us know specifically what you're going through, and let us pray for you. Let us release curses that have been spoken over you. Let us breathe life and hope back into your remembrance and your coherence. You know?
Let us optimize your liver pathways.
Yes, and that's super important. You'd be so proud of me, Sarah. I'm doing just fruits for the next couple of days.
Girl.
My body has been asking for,
Yeah, I think I'm feeling that too.
and
Some grounding.
grounding, combo, sunshine, all the things. We have loads of tools. We're going to hop off because now we're going to get off onto a tangent. But please know that we're here for you and we love you. And if there's anything that we can do to support you, don't hesitate to reach out. No question is off the table.
And thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right.